All right. Okay. Well, good evening, or whatever time it is, wherever you are in the universe. Thank you for joining me 100% live on YouTube. Just adjust myself a little, missus. We are creating cyber metal as we go. What is it? Not really sure yet. We're sort of finding out, creating a new genre. Thanks ever so much for joining me so that I don't have to talk to myself. In the chat already we have Semtex. Hi dude. Hello Grant. Thanks for being here. Stephen, nice to see you here, my friend. And some other people who haven't yet joined the chat according to my YouTube monitoring thing. Anyway, so you've heard the playthrough. That's where we've got to so far with this track. So I like the intro. The mix is terrible, but I don't mix until later on usually. You can't wait to see the 7-string. I will be getting it out in a bit, madam. Okay, and Stephen has a new accordion, which I've yet to see. Have you got any videos yet, Stephen, with your new accordion? Got a little bit of cat hair on the microphone. How does cat hair get in here? I don't let the cat in here. She can't stand me. Hi Burns, thanks for being here. Where's Mateus? Mateus is always here. Where is the man? Anyway, so let me go to this view here so we can see the I think this is the whole project so far. That's all we have up to this point. So if I just get my little mouse, okay, so this is the intro and the guitar's kicking here with the drums. Now, what I don't like is the second part of the choir section here. Just having a listen on that playthrough there. Don't like that. I've not had time to come back to this track since last stream, other than I did find some time to redo this bit, the guitars for this part, because if you recall, it's a bit quick, and I was writing the riff and the drums on the spot, and I wasn't quite getting the timing as close as I wanted on that guitar. I had to practice it a little bit before I put it down, because I didn't want to have to sort of do it in bits and time it, I just wanted to be able to play it. So if I zoom in nice and close on that, you'll see that, just let's go a little closer on the WAV there. Now, if I zoom in enough, you can see there, look, it's not perfectly in time. I've not sort of timed it to perfection, because when you do that, you do lose the width. You do lose it. Just when you time it sort of perfectly, it sounds like one guitar again. You don't get that breadth of sound. It's difficult to resist in a modern DAW where you can go right in and you can time things down to the millisecond, but really, honestly, don't. Just do it so that it sounds in time enough. I'll solo both of those guitars and you'll hear. Now they sound in time with each other to me, but when I zoom in, the closer I zoom in, the wronger it looks. So just bear that in mind. People don't listen to me, but it is a fact. Right, okay, so let's just take off the solos. And, the other thing I wanted to mention was I spent a bit of time last stream, I think it was, putting down an organ part. I fancied having an organ in this. I thought it might just add to that sort of spooky, eerie sound that I wanted. But I have to admit that the part that I put down, whilst it works with the guitars and the drums, it doesn't also work with the choir part. And the choir part is much superior. I think it just brings a lot more to the track than the organ. I'll just play a bit of that for you. So if I mute the choir, right? But it doesn't work when you bring the choir in. Listen to them together. Actually, they sound alright together, but they don't both sound alright with everything else. I think maybe it just sounds too cluttered. Maybe that's it. Anyway, so I've decided I'm going to save that part that I recorded for the organ, because maybe later in the track I'll want something different, and maybe that's something I can use. But it is, yes, the choir is cinematics, which is a tremendous app. It's full of amazing sounds. It has a couple of issues, actually, cinematics. I did try and contact the developer about it, but he did not get back to me. But I have noticed a couple of issues with it, but the sounds I can't fault. So I'm just going to drag this choir part over here somewhere and mute it, and maybe have a go at putting down some block chords. So let's see now. The guitars come in here. Then the choir comes in. And I thought there, maybe just some block chords on the organ just to thicken it up a little bit. What issues? Well, I've noticed a few funny little things happening when you've got multiple instances of it in either Logic Pro for iPad or in Cubasis. One of the things being that you can't change the MIDI channel from within the app. You can, if you're using multiple controllers, get around it in Cubasis with Cubasis's routing, but it doesn't take away the fact that you can't change the MIDI channel within the app without it changing all of the other instances within your project. So, if you think, well, I've got this one on MIDI channel 1, so I'll change the next instance to MIDI channel 2. You go in, you change it. If you check the other one, that's 2 as well, which, there is a thing there. There's a couple of other bits and pieces as well. It doesn't crash, though. I've noticed you can have quite a few instances of it on my M1 and it don't crash, as heavy as it might seem that it is. So there is that. Anyway, what was I doing? Organ. So let's, hang on, side cam. Hey, Audible, thanks for being here. Jamie is way better than watching America slowly melt from political insanity, and he's fun. Well, thanks for that, dude. Yeah, thanks for that. Right, so I have not armed. Let's arm the organ. And then I'll put the timeline thingy here. Right, there's my organ. Now, if I remember rightly, the chords that I played were these chords. Hang on, my overhead camera's gone a bit wonky. There we are. Right, so I think the chords I played were these. I think that's right. So let's have a playthrough with some block chords and see if we think that might sound alright. I think that might sound alright. So I'm going to put that down. So let's see now. The choir comes in there, and so right. So I want the organ to come in after this bar. Okay, let's have a go for that. Right, I played it right once-ish, so let's not tempt fate. It's unlikely to happen again, so I'll just play it in once and copy it across. If you have King B, that has great organ sounds. King B. No, I don't have that. King B. Who's that by? Is that the Yonak app? I normally demo Yonak apps, but I've not been demoing as many apps because I've been a bit on the busy side. And I've just not been accepting apps off people. I've not been accepting codes so much or asking for codes so much because I feel like if I ask for them, I really need to make the demos. And if I haven't got time to make the demos, it's just not fair on the developer. Right, so let's have a look at the quantize, and we will quantize it to half a bar. And the ends, yes, let's try that. Okay, that looks pretty good. And I'll just, while everything is selected, drag the volume to the top and then back down, and they will all be even. Okay, right, let's see what that sounds like. Right, yes, that sounds okay. Now I can trim my MIDI, and then we will copy this across. Hang on, that's wrong, isn't it? That's wrong. Because there's a push, and I've snapped it to half a bar. Stupid hippie. Ah, I see. Should it be there? Just check that by having a look at the drums. Where's my drums? And go to 16th notes. And there, yes, that's where it should be. Okay. Yeah, right, so that one's correct now. So I'll delete this one, and then I'll copy this one across. I wonder whether maybe the what am I saying? If maybe the chords should climb a little, like okay. So join these together, and then maybe I should use my mouse, so that you can see what I'm doing. Maybe if we took these two notes up an octave, and let's try that. No, it's too near the guitars. It's in the same frequency now. We'll undo that, and I'll leave it as it is. Right, now I presume this will sound okay once I've corrected the choir, if I just copy this over to this section. Now, when the choir gets more busy, then I don't like it. That needs changing a little bit. Let's have a listen to it on its own. Right, I think we just need to lose some of those, that's all. Yes. Let's bring the volume of it up a little bit so we can hear it a bit better in the mix. Right, okay, so I'll go into this MIDI here, and I think, where is it? It's there, right? Right, I like it up to there. I think we'll lose this one. I think we can lose those ones. I think the problem is we're in danger of losing space. We need to just let things breathe a bit better. Right, so, oops. Same thing here. Do I want it the same? Let's lose one extra there, just so it's a little different. Yeah, that I like. I'm happy with that. Okay. Oh, I'm glad I did that. That's made me happy. Right, now let's just bring it down in the mix a little bit, something like it was, and bring down that organ. I'm not sure it's the finest organ sound I have. I kind of think that this sound, though, suits the track. So, but that's something I can piss pants around with later. So, we'll go back here, and then mixer, mute the organ for a moment. Right, okay, that last chord there sounds nasty, which is exactly what I wanted. I'm kind of creating these sounds by sort of having an idea what scale I'm in, but then using outside notes from the scale on purpose. And that one is a flat second. Me like the guitar riffs. Cool, excellent. Right then, so now I have an idea, right? I haven't tried it yet. It might be absolutely dreadful, but I have an idea. Now, I just want to listen to this section because it comes in after this section. So let's just have a listen and see if I can get an idea in my head of exactly what I want. Right, so what I'm thinking here is I want to have another challenging sounding section. So basically, when the guitars kick in, I've got the melody. The melody is the same part as what the clean guitar is doing in the intro, kind of. So in the introduction, the clean guitar is doing this. Then I've made that into a riff, and the riff goes like this. So here, where all the guitars kick in, I've got a melody. Then we have got the melody continues, and the guitars behind it get heavier in this section here, and then the harmony to the melody comes in. Well, it's not a harmony, it's just an octave higher, because I'm trying to get a harmony for a sort of a discordant, using outer scale notes on purpose line like this would be, I don't think it would be possible. So after that, then we've got a new riff that kicks in. Very thrashy riff. Then I want another section before we ultimately go back to the melody. And I thought it would be great to have something from a, with a different time signature. But of course, in Cubasis, we can't do that. Or can we? Because I sort of had this idea. So I'm going to run with it, right? And if it's an absolute utter disaster, then that's fine. You can all have a good laugh at my expense, and hopefully that will be entertaining. Let me just snap this to bar here and drag this over here. Right, okay. So here's my theory. I think it would be cool if we had a riff, a busy, aggressive riff, that was in 5/4. So my theory is, if I change this to quarter notes and then drag this out here, if I was to create a MIDI part there, prepping to giggle, if I was to create a MIDI part there, then now that essentially is 5/4, right? Because this is 4 beats and that's 5 of them. So that chunk there is potentially 5/4. So I'm going to go into this MIDI and I'm going to go to 6. It's on 16th notes already. That's cool. Where are my drums? Not there. Well, there's one. Okay. Yeah, so it starts at C1. All right. I'm thinking this kind of feel. If I can just get my playhead to the beginning of the crate bar. There we are. Right. I could have just done that. But anyway. I've sort of got a riff idea in my head, so I'm going to try and create a drum part that would go with it, I think. I'll just do kicks and snares for now, which might actually be sufficient. I hope this works. Right. I thought that was going to fill 5/4. Obviously, my maths in my head is not good. Let's fill it up with snares. Put loop on. Right. Okay. That could work, I think. I think that could work. Right, I'm going to need a guitar. I'm going to get my 7-string. Maybe use possibly this channel, I think. I think my 7-string is already plugged in. We have no sound. Why do we have no sound? Should it be this channel I use? Oh yeah, we'll use that channel. Okay. Right, okay, so for anyone who's not tuned in and seen my 7-string before, what I am doing is I have my 7-string tuned to standard tune from the E to top E, and my low B is tuned down to an A. So that means that I can, it's like drop A. Got my headphone cable trapped behind my guitar. Right, we're a little out of tune, so we better sort that out. I'm using Absalon for this sound. I've used it on all the guitars so far in this track. It's not necessarily what I'm going to use for everything, but you know, just for now, just for getting my parts together, it's doing the business. And it has a tuner built into it, which is nice. Make note, Numbrini. Well, that's held its tuning pretty well. Right, okay, so I'm thinking a riff, something like... something like that, right? Don't have a riff yet. Right, now what do I want to get in it? I maybe want to get that flat second in again. And a flat 5, because we want all the nasty sounds, right? Where's a flat 5 on this now? Oh, that's my 5, sharp 5. Right, that kind of feel would work. Just come over here a moment. Right, but with some other notes. How many notes do I need? Something like that. I think if it ended on the sharp 5, that would sound nice. Is that enough notes? Forgot how to play. Yeah, I think that could work. Sharp 5, that's a nasty note. Right, okay. So now, if I was going to do that though, how long am I going to do that for? And is it going to stay on that riff? And if it does stay on that riff, hey Eric, thanks for being here. If it does stay on that riff, then how would the melody come in after that? What would it sound like? I mean, if we dropped after this section back onto that melody part. So how's that go? I can't remember my own riff. Right, so what would it sound like? So if it went yeah, okay, so yeah, okay. I think that works because I'm ending on that. That's the last note. And then we go back to the. Right, so the sharp 5 there, which is an F, shift to an A sounds very uncomfortable, and that's exactly what we want for this kind of track. So I think you were just working on a death metal, thrash metal track with synth/orchestral elements. Yeah. I've been listening to a bit of that stuff recently and really, really liking it. I love I love old doom metal bands. Like doom metal bands like Candlemass, and mixing that with the big symphonic thing, I think is just epic. That I'm very attracted to that kind of thing. Sustain the end note to transition into the next section. Yeah, I might well do that. Let's see what happens, right? So if I now hang on, I presume. Oh, now then, can I copy this across? Yeah, I wondered whether I could or not. Because it's not like a bar. It's not snapped to a bar. So if I copy this across a few times, right, so that's the riff 4 times. Let's see what it's like if I play the riff 4 times. Is that enough times? Do we need more times? I turned my guitar down. No, it's not enough times. I think we'll do double that, thinking like the second half will have something that comes over the top, like maybe a solo, which might be a synth solo, because don't forget, this is cyber metal, and there is going to be lead guitar in it, obviously, but I'm thinking there might also be some synth lead, because because that's what we're all about with this music. We're mixing up electronic sounds with guitar sounds, and yes, I've mostly focused on guitar sounds up to this point, but that's kind of my strong point. So it's easier for me to build a track with what I know. So if I highlight that then and drag it out another 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, actually, look at that. That actually resolves to the end of a bar. That's interesting. That's quite cool. So it means that I'll be able to get back into 4/4 no problem. And that you love the Swedish metal bands that use accordions. Yeah, I've heard some of that as well, and yeah, I can't fault you, Stephen. Right. So, well, it's like the idea Audible is that I've done some cyber metal tracks before. So I thought, well, what if I go like, because I got a 7-string and was really enjoying all these low thrashy death metal sounds. So I thought, well, what if I mixed that kind of, that sort of more extreme metal guitar kind of sound with the electronic stuff I've been using for the cyber metal. And so that's what we're experimenting with. Right, so if I come back here, and now what I tend to do in these streams is I'm not trying to get down the perfect guitar part, just good enough, so it doesn't sound sucky. And then I can always re-record them later. It's about getting the parts written. So let's see if I can get a roughly decent take on this. How many riffs will it actually be? It's 8 riffs, and it takes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bars. Maths is not my strong point, but that makes sense. Okay. Right. Let's have a little go with this then. I've not really got anything to bring me in on time. I might have to use a metronome here. Can't hear it. Metronome volume. Oh, that's going to be distracting, isn't it? Because that's 4/4. It's accenting the 1 every. I might just have to ignore that. Let's see if I can cope with it. I've coped with worse things. I don't think that was too bad. So what I'm going to do with that is I'm just going to trim it a bit. Let's just trim that down. I'm going to scoot it onto one of these rhythm tracks down here. Right, and I'm going to put it in again. Yeah, well, I could make my own click. Honestly, Audible, if I could be arsed. I can't be arsed. I really can't be arsed. I just want to play the guitar. So, but it's a very fair point. Yes, the metronome sounds very nice, doesn't it, Stephen? And the reason I have that particular sound on the metronome is because, do you know that when I record guitar, because I'm quite deaf, and so I tend to have my headphones on pretty loud when I'm recording stuff, and so that's probably making me deafer. And what I've found is, if I'm using a metronome and I'm using one of those very piercing sounds that really cuts through, like the traditional Cubase metronome sound, which is in Cubasis. There's multiple to choose from in Cubasis, and sometimes what happens is my guitar pickups will pick up that metronome sound, and when I play the guitar back when it's soloed, I can hear the metronome, and obviously, I don't want that. So that gives you an idea of how loud I might have my headphones. So a softer, subtler sound like this doesn't pick it up the same. So let's see if I can just do that again, and we'll have one pan left and one pan right. Right, that one wasn't quite as good, but it'll suffice for now, just so we can hear what it sounds like with, one pan to each side. If I drag this onto this rhythm track here, this one is pan left, the other one is pan right. Turn the metronome off. Right, okay, most of the first take is quite reasonable, actually. The second is not as good. It's a bit sloppy, but, it'll do for now. I'll redo that later. So let's move that spare organ out of the way. Right, okay, so I'm thinking after that section there, it's going to sound really cool if we drop back on to the melody section. So what I need to do now is I need to do a bit of work on the sections that I've got that sound a bit incomplete. You'll notice I've not put any bass down yet, because when I come to doing the bass, I want to do all the bass, because as I said last week, for me, bass is my number one instrument, and I tend to find that I can tie things together with the bass. If other things are a bit lacking, then I'll come in with the bass and try and make it all make sense. So that's the £159 7-string from Thomann, which is a Harley Benton with fanned frets, and all the hardware's really good. The only thing that could be better, the pickups could be a bit better. They don't really sound like anything. They're fine for the metal stuff, for just like driving a metal sound. But when you go to a clean sound, they just sort of sound a bit... They sound a bit nothing, They're not harsh sounding. They're just sort of a bit... there's not a lot of character to them. So I would change the pickups if I was going to use it for anything other than this kind of playing, and I think the tuners could be slightly better. but they're not bad at all. And what was the other thing that I was... Oh, the strings. The strings that it came with were absolutely dreadful. So, I just ordered a 7-string set from Rotor Sound and put them on, and it sounded 10 times better. Okay, so let's see now. What's it sound like if you pitch the second guitar up a third? Feel free to ignore me. Ooh, well, that's interesting, but the whole thing is chromatic, so it would be... maybe we should just try it, Right, Eric says, what I seem to struggle with the most is actually finishing a track. I get real close, but then when it comes to completing the post-production elements, I stop. Yeah, I mean, that's what Song Timbre is all about, You have an NK7 string, fan fret, stainless steel, headless 5-piece, roasted maple neck and fingerboard. Nice. Yeah, they are nice. It's a better one than that. Okay, so... what was I going to do? Oh yeah, the thirds thing, right? So if we pitched everything up a third, what would it sound like? Right, so now I'm using an open note here, so that doesn't make it easy. Right, so that would be here. Right, okay, so it would go like this. Lost it right at the end there. What do you think to that? I actually did it because I expected it to sound quite dreadful, and I thought that would be funny. And actually, I don't think it sounds dreadful at all. It's more difficult to play like that. I think I like that. I'm going to record that. I'm going to record it while I can play it because, hey, Jade, thanks for being here. Did you hear that thing just then? It was, yeah. The Audible had an idea, and I tried it, and I think it sounds good. I really expected it to sound terrible. Right, so I'm going to have a go at playing that in. God, I need the metronome again. A 4/4 time metronome for 5/4. I just need it for the first 4 notes, and then I'll ignore it. Well, I'd already tuned it out, you see. Okay, now, obviously that wasn't amazing playing, but just so that we've got a record of the idea, I have this thing. I wonder if maybe we could start off. Now then, is that one centre panned? I can't remember. That one's centre panned. Okay. So if I dropped that out for like the first couple of riffs, no, it's not 2 bars, it's a bar and a half, isn't it? Think. Yes, it's a bar and a half. 2.5 bars. Duh, hippie. Right, now, so that would mean that we'd have it without, and then it would come in. Hey, Leela. Right, and there, when that riff's played twice with the thirds, then we have like some kind of solo or something, and and explosions and smoke and drama. I love it. Thank you for that idea, Audible. That was an outstanding idea. You are an amazing person. I'm going to put this guitar down now. Right. Okay. Right. So, where am I? I'm in my studio as usual. Let me get closer to the desk so I can touch stuff. And some headless bats. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. So let me just if I zoom in and I'll make everything smaller. And right, okay, so that's the project so far. So that's where the melody kicks in after the introduction. This is the very thrashy riff. This is the this is the very thrashy riff, and this is the new bit with the 5/4 section, and then that will drop into the melody here. So I've got a way of doing a little trick just to sort of give a rough idea of whether or not that will work. So what I do is put the thingy where I want to link to, and then if I play it from round about here, then when it loops, it'll loop back to the bit that I'm thinking of dropping this section back into. Did that make sense? I think that will work. I want to hear that one more time. It will work. It will work, but it needs a fill. It needs a fill, and I might change the end of the riff. I might put a run there or something. But anyway, basically, it will work. Musically, it does work. So I'm happy. I've kind of got a lot of. I've got enough riffs, I think, to build a thing with. So let's see if we can fill in a bit of the space. So now then, where the thrashy bit comes in, always put the thingy in the right place. It puts the thingy next to what's in the basket. Accidental notage. Yeah, I'm going to have to play that in again, but I do like the riff. Okay, so I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to do this. And now I'm looping around that section. I wonder whether the choir should do something there, like staccato bits. Now hang on, what's that? It's based on a B, isn't it? That. Okay. This view. Okay. I can't remember what any of the notes are, so I'm just playing a B power chord over and over. So I need my guitar. Right, so this string is an A now, so A sharp, B. Oh, it's a C. C to a B. And that is a D sharp. Yeah, of course it is. That's a D sharp. So dun, dun, dun. Okay. And that, of course, is an A. Yes. All right. Okay. Pressing all the buttons except the right one. D sharp E flat, if you don't mind. Yeah, I play things with strings. I don't really care about that. Okay. So what would that be? That would be yeah, okay. Bit of keyboard confusion because I'm having to use some black notes. No, that's not right. Yes, it is. Oh, God. Right. Okay. I'm trying to put too many in, aren't I? That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to put too many in. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to put too many in. So let's reduce it down. So if I just go with the last bit. Right, I don't know actually. I'm not entirely convinced or sure. I'm not entirely convinced or sure. So what I maybe should do is find another part that does work, and then maybe we add that later when it becomes clear. So I've already got the organ in this track. Maybe I should look at the organ, or perhaps bring in a new synth sound, maybe. That's an idea. Okay, so what about if we had like an acid bass kind of a sound coming? Right, that's the kind of thing I'm wanting to get into my cyber metal stuff. For a minute, you thought I was going to play the Old Spice theme on the quiet part. I'll never get that out of my head now, Stephen. Old Spice. My granddad used to have Old Spice and Brute, right? They were his 2 cents. And Old Spice was for like every day, and Brute was for special days. And I used to always put it on when I went to the bathroom at their house. Yeah. Don't know why I told you that. Anyway, so what am I doing? I'm looking for a sound, and I thought of acid. Oh, I'll have to go in a few minutes. Well, let's just get acid added to the track, you know? Splash it on all over Henry. You know, some people from other countries will have no idea what we're going on about. Right, I'm adding a MIDI track. I'm going to stay focused. I'm gonna add acid, right? So pure acid. Let's go with that. And come out of it and arm the track. Okay. And let's make that an appropriate colour. Now let's see. It's a bass instrument strictly, but I'm using it as a synth, so it can't be purple like bass. So we'll make it this green here. There. Why is DRC that colour? What's going on with that? Right. Synths are green. Organs are brown. In case you didn't know. Right. Pure acid. Right, we want a more acidy sound. That's the kind of thing I want. You know, I could just mess with this. I could just sit here messing with this for hours. I did I've nearly finished making a video. I can tell you now because I couldn't tell you before. I kept whittering on about this video I was making, or needed to get on with making that. That I couldn't tell you about because I was told not to. But basically, right. Sonido sent me the new version of the live dock to make a video on them. They sent it me in good time so that I could get my video ready and release it when they released it, and which was nice of them. And then we've had a couple of days with no internet, and it completely screwed me up. And so they've released it, and I've not finished my video yet, but I'll finish it in the morning. And in that video, get to the point, hippie. I used a bit of hardware, and I've used my Donna B1, which I'm pointing over there because it's over there, even though you can't see it. Can you see it actually? If I go like this, if I go side cam, where is it? we can see a bit of it. It's over here. That's it there, hiding behind the TARDIS. And yeah, so I was having a real good arse around with that, and making all these squeaky sounds, and it's pretty cool actually for the price of it. It is actually pretty good, but you know what? It doesn't really sound as good as Pure Acid, if I am completely honest. Right, so I don't know when I'm going to play in this, but that was a freaky sound. Right, yes, Pure Acid is absolutely awesome. I really, really love arsing around with it. Okay, so I really got to go in a minute, but let's just have a bit of a tinker about. Hang on a minute. Wait a sec. What was that? What was that? Okay. So, Pure Acid is getting some MIDI from somewhere. Why is wait a minute. Why is the MIDI? I think it's that MIDI there. What is going on there? Right, okay, well, no MIDI input, so it's nothing that's coming into my interface. Now, wait a minute, if I play the keys now. Right, let's just set it to this. I have no idea why that's even playing. But it's fun. What happens if I play while that's playing? Well, it's persistent, I'll give it that. I don't know. I don't know why it's doing it. If I restart Cubasis, maybe it won't do it anymore. But I don't know if I want it to stop now. Okay. What about? Hang on. Okay. Well, with that mystery, which I think I'm tired. I'm going to have to just come back to that tomorrow and try and figure out what that is. So, tomorrow I will have a video coming out. Watch out for it. It's worth watching, even if you're not interested in the new Sonido live streaming interface, because I'm using a little bit of hardware in it, and there's a couple of interesting bits to see in there. It will be time coded, so just skip past all the bits where I'm wittering on and being boring, and just watch those bits. I'm going to leave you for now because my dinner calls, and it's about time I buggered off. So thanks ever so much for joining me. It's been really, really nice to have some people here with me while I made some music with no real idea what the hell I'm doing. Thanks ever so much, Audible, for have we got a video? We watch that all the time in our house. The young ones is just legendary. It's tangent. Shut up, hippie. Your fault, Jade. So yes, thanks Audible for your absolutely, utterly excellent suggestion. It was brilliant. It sounded awesome, and I wouldn't have thought of it by myself. So thank you. I'm going to bugger off now. Thanks very much for being here. Have a fantastic rest of your week, and try and make some music, and try not to piss your pants about. I'm going to play you out with the track. See you later. Play, you bastard.